What is going on, YouTube? We are live. I sure hope we are live. We're here, Coach Frank at the compound. Got my good buddy, Mitch, the IFBB Pro Spatafor in the house today. Mitch, what's going on, brother?
Hey, man, just chilling, getting it in. You know what it is. Another day at the compound.
Another day at the compound.
Yes,
what are we doing here today, man?
We went over some old classic workouts today. Did some V-bar dips.
Yes.
Did some drag curls.
Yes.
Did some sissy squats. So a bunch of stuff that like you don't see in the gym nowadays.
It's not the modern day, you know, bandy resistance. I'm standing on one foot doing all this goofy shit to try to build muscle. It's like we're just going back to what works, like the staples. You know, I think for me, man, it's like some of the old stuff is the best.
Yeah.
You know, like if you pull up my playlist on Pandora, I'm still rocking 90s old school rap. I mean, was recently asked like top movie. I mean, I still go back to like Top Gun, man, like the 80s. Maybe that's a sign of me getting old, but even when it comes to training, like I like some of the staples, man, like some of the basics, you know, like what these guys were doing way back in the day. And hey, by the way, here at Critical Bench, we love to give away some free stuff. So if you click the link down there in the description, we have a free report, the 8x8, the Iron Guru himself. Yes, we're talking about Vince Gironda, literally the man behind the legends, the guy behind Arnold Schwarzenegger, the guy behind Frank Zane, the guy behind Franco Columbu, to a certain extent. Wealth of knowledge, unique perspective on training, nutrition, was literally the carnivore diet before we knew what the carnivore diet was. Check it out there, the 8x8 report, down there in the pinned comment below. But let's show people some of our favorites.
Yeah,
you know, let's go through some demos here. Let's talk about why these exercises are a little bit different from maybe how they're performing them and what they can do and use these in their training. So I see we got something really unique.
Should I
here.
take this off? So
Yeah, bro. Just rock that physique, man. You, like,
can't take off the mic now.
You built that body for a reason. You might
Hey,
as well,
you and me both, baby. We've been doing this a long time. Long time, right?
So what we got Mitch demoing here is what's called a Gironda style sternum pull-up. So you can see, I mean, from the angle that you guys are probably watching at here, right? You're seeing that his back is obviously tilted towards you. His goal and focus, what he's trying to accomplish, is literally pulling himself up to his sternum. And how we were explaining this early, right, is a lot of people want to use pull-ups to build big, thick, wide lats. I mean, we want to create this V taper, just like Mitch has here in his back. But a standard pull-up, right, when our arms are way out here, there's a little bit of lat recruitment, but I can even feel it. Like my lats are soft and gushy right here, whereas Mitch, as he's pulling, he's locked in, because if we want to train our lats, we need to work with the angle at which those lat fibers work. And by keeping our elbows closer to our body and pulling to the sternum as opposed to below our chin, we're able to engage much more deeper into those lower lats and really create this V taper look, which is going to expand out his shoulders, give him wide look, tiny, tiny waist here. So yeah, classic, different old school variation of the pull-ups here. We got the sternum Gironda style.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. I mean, it hits my lats pretty well in comparison to like normal pull-ups and stuff. Like with normal pull-ups, I feel like my shoulders kind of overcompensate, and it's harder to kind of isolate those like mid insertions of the lat and such. Yeah. So just having those different variations goes a long way. Yeah. So.
Yeah. We did one here, and we've done this before in a couple videos, but the drag curl. And what did you think about that? Was that something you had done before we did it in the video today? How do you like it?
I like the drag curl a lot. I mean, it hits a lot of the brachialis and stuff. So like something that I'll focus on with doing drag curls is I try to pin my arms up against my body. So like I'll stand up tall first, stand up like that, and just drag it across. Yeah. But as I'm doing it, I'm thinking of keeping my arms squeezed up against my body.
Well, the key here, right, is, you know, just like with a squat, just like with a deadlift, we want to pay attention to the bar path, whereas normally, actually maybe if you turn to the side, because I think they can get a good idea of what I'm talking about here from the side. So normally, do a normal curl and show kind of the curling motion, right? So it's got an uneven bar path. There's a rounding motion to it. Great for bicep development, right? But here with the drag curl, what we're trying to do is we're trying to pull our elbows back, so our bar path is going to operate in a straight line. And like you said, all we're focused on doing is training the biceps in a little bit different of an angle, getting a little bit more of that brachialis involved, a little bit more thickness. Not going to be great for contractural peak. That you want to be somewhere up here. You want to be in a cable high curl, Maybe in a bicep curl, we can get a little bit of shoulder extension. That's what's really gonna create that maximum peak contraction. Drag curl, great for that thick arm development. I mean, think about our granddads, right? Or even maybe our fathers. Like, these men had thick arms.
Monster forearms.
Because they were doing this movement. You know, you got these little tweeny kids out there with little, you know, they got a good bicep peak, but it's like a little baby. It's like a little thin thing. Start throwing in some drag curls.
Gotta include them drag curls.
Yeah. So we got back, we got biceps. What are we doing for our chest? Old school.
We got dips.
Dips. Yes, we got the V-bar dips, right?
Got the V-bar dips over here.
Let's walk them through that one a little bit. The floating push-up.
Yeah, I love dips personally. I mean,
dude, they're amazing.
I feel like too many people in general in the gym don't utilize dips. I mean, every chest day I have dips in there. Yeah, 100%.
Do you think most people are looking at dips as a chest exercise or triceps? Drop a comment down there below. You guys chest or triceps when you do dips?
So, I think when most people doing them, they're doing it for chest.
Yeah?
I think so, personally. Like you're including in like a chest and tri routine.
Yeah.
For me, I'll isolate it. So like I'll do like dips when I'm leaning forward to hit chest.
Yep.
And then like for triceps, I'll do them like sitting up, or I'll even do like weighted tricep ones where I'll put like my hands a little bit closer together and stuff like that. Just little variations, just to include different things.
So it's
to
not
try
that a dip would be a chest and or tricep exercise, because it can operate both. It's what is the goal and intention, and then how do you make that exercise work what it is you're trying to do. So let's show them the V-bar dip here, which is the Gironda style, which is, like you said, it's really more chest focused. So what Mitch is gonna do is he's gonna lean way forward. Now this takes a lot of, obviously, strength. It takes a lot of stability. It takes a lot of muscular control. So you might wanna, you know, maybe if you work at a gym that's got the assisted weight, try this out here before. But the big key here is this is really getting that lower pec involved. You know, a lot of guys have great mid-pec development and maybe even decent upper pec development, but because very few people train the lower pec properly, maybe they'll do a decline press every once in a while. But by getting that lower pec developed, what it's gonna do is it's gonna create more of a shelf. You know, we were talking about Arnold Classic earlier today. Dude had an incredible chest. I mean, probably one of the body parts he's most known for. It literally sat and operated up on a shelf because he had massive lower pec development. And I think the V press or the V dip, leaning forward, almost like a floating push-up, probably one of the best movements to really target that exercise.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, it should be included along with like bench press and squat and stuff like that, like just as like a core lift in general, just because like they're so underutilized.
Yeah,
so
I've even had points in my career where this would be the movement that we were tracking and progressing over time. We kept dumbbells and bench press stay like
I've never done that.
Yeah, it was interesting.
So what, you were tracking like the weights you would
add? The progression, we would add weights to.
Like 3 plates, 4 plates, 5. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. Let's show them something for quads. Okay. What's an old school quad exercise?
Yeah, let's show them the sissy. Let's show them the sissy squat.
You're a sissy, bro.
Yeah, you're a sissy. Who are you calling sissy?
All right. So
who come up with that name? Like, come on.
It's actually, there was a Greek, I know it, it's Sisyphus. There's a story of him pushing a stone up a mountain, and he'd get it to the top, and the stone would roll back down. I think it's something Sisyphus. And then they took that because, like the Greek story, the dude's got massive quads. Somebody's going to research me and call me out on that, but trust me, there's 60% accuracy in that story.
Hey, you said 60%.
Sisyphus, S-Y-P-H-U-S.
No, I know. I said 60%. 60%. That's a good percentage.
Yeah, but I'm saying Sisyphus.
I know.
Became sissy. So,
at least you're not saying you're 50%, right? You're 60%.
I'm more than
He's more than confident,
half of that
but
story
he knows that some of it's a little bit.
Let's show them the exercise and stop making fun of me. So
he called me a sissy first, guys.
Sissy squat. And what we're trying to do here is we really want to isolate and target. Yeah, it's challenging. We want to target those quads. Because while squats can be an incredible strength building exercise, in terms of specific muscle building for the quads, probably not going to be the greatest because you're not really able to isolate them through their full range of motion. So as he gets down here to the bottom, I mean, those quads are firing up. Because what we must understand is when we squat, the minute our hips break, because you'll see here that he's keeping his upper body fully locked and fully straight. So it's almost a straight line from his knees up to his chin. Because what happens is when our hips break, so in a traditional squat, we may break at the knees and the hips at the same time. But by our hips breaking, we now have to activate and turn on our glutes and hamstrings. So that means that these muscles are gonna work through the exercise. Now in terms of quad development, having your hamstrings activated does 0 for the quads. So you wanna keep a straight line, not break at the hips, and the only joint here moving now is going to be his knees. Guys, this is not one that you're gonna see a lot of people doing at the gym, but if you can learn it, if you can master it, if you can perfect it, and if you can make it a regular staple in your quads, not only will you see growth and development that you've never seen before, but there will be a carryover effect into every other exercise that you do. And that's what I really like about some of these old school, like really targeted exercises is, yeah, it's great for targeting that specific muscle, but the crossover, carryover effects to the rest of your training is what becomes exponential. Right. And that's what makes it like so incredible. But it's also because these exercises are so difficult, that's why they have such a great impact on you. But also because they're so difficult, why nobody wants to do them. Yeah, exactly. So we got 4 here, man. What else? Yeah. What else can we show? We got biceps. We got. Here's another one that's not in that report. Which, by the way, if you haven't done it yet, click the link down there. Free report. Vince Gironda, 8x8. He teaches a shoulder fly. I think is what he shoulder dumbbell swing. And it was this was actually one I've never performed. I was reviewing the document before today's video shoot because I knew we were going to be talking about it and telling you guys to go download it, so make sure to click that link down there and download the report. But a dumbbell swing, so I've done something similar to this before. I don't know if you've ever done like a rotating
I remember doing them here.
thing. One he does is he calls it a swing where you almost go into like I think they said it was like a pulling of an arrow. So your finished position is going to be here. So first right will come up. Kind of like a dad. Hey, for the young kids, right? We're talking old school to the young kids. So try that one out there, man, because I feel it in a couple different unique ways, but it's getting front delt activation when you bring this one up.
So it's like
side
shooting
delt.
an arrow.
Yeah.
Interesting. See, it's so weird because it's like I have to think in my head of like shooting a bow and arrow.
Yeah,
otherwise
yeah,
it's like
yeah.
it looks so. So it's like.
Oh yeah, I see now. Yeah. You even got the rear delt activated in that one. Okay.
This is really old school. It's going like medieval times.
This is the medieval times, yeah.
It's like weird, like doing the opposite side though, because like obviously I shoot a bow and arrow like right-handed because I'm right-handed, and I'm going to do it like left-handed, and it's just like.
Yeah, but because you're having to think in the way that you are, you're obviously creating more neural adaptation.
Oh yeah, by far.
This is gonna turn your brain on in a way. Like, you're going to be smarter tonight just because of this.
Exactly. Now I can write more books. Bet, bro.
Guys, we got your whole body covered here, man. We got biceps, we got triceps, we got shoulders, we got pull-ups, we did legs. So much to do, man. I mean...
We did those kickbacks. We had those double kickbacks.
Oh, yeah, those were fun.
So these I actually do these often. So like, get a little positioning like there. Arch my back.
Yeah. You see how Mitch has his elbows. I mean, his upper arm is parallel to the floor. I see a lot of people doing kickbacks like here. That's more of a bicep curl because the gravity is what's causing the resistance. So if gravity is not working against the angle of our tricep, so yeah, we want to be fully bent over. Elbows slightly behind you as well. I mean, you want it actually above your back. That's going to get that long head engaged. So
Old school recovery.
Old school recovery.
I see beads, cigars, all that stuff.
What, smoke a joint?
I'm not sure I would recommend, smoking on a beach as a recovery aspect. I think health and science and medical has somewhat advanced since the 60s and 70s. So yeah, let's not take Steve's advice and work out, then go and lay on the beach and smoke a stogie. Maybe not the best thing. No. In terms of recovery, I mean, Gironda was an advocate of very high volume, high frequency training. So recovery is an important aspect if you're going to be following, especially with a lot of this new neural adaptation. You need to make sure that your body is going to recover for that.
Right.
If you're beginner, 3-4 days a week. If you're intermediate, 5-6. Now, Gironda back in the day, and I've even explored this a couple times in my career, I have trained 7 days a week. I think that you have to have a lot of things in your life really dialed in at that point to really get the benefits of training 7 days a week. But Gironda was he was a fan of meat. He was a fan of eggs. I mean, he literally was the carnivore diet before the carnivore diet was a thing. So I think in terms of recovery, things you want to avoid is obviously stress in your life, avoid toxic conversations, toxic relationships, but make sure sleep is dialed in, good environment. We've talked a lot about that here, both on this channel and over on our main channel as well. But people watching this are like, this is great. You guys are showing us all this new stuff. Why do we need anything different than what we're already doing? I mean, is there a reason why somebody that maybe has a great physique could get benefit out of some of these different unique exercises? What are your thoughts in and around kind of mixing things up?
Definitely. I mean, I think there's always room for improvement in any, just being an athlete in general, you always have areas that you can improve. As you can see, when I started doing that archer shoulder raise, whatever you want to call it, it was difficult. Like on the left side, I was struggling.
Yeah.
And as you can see, I'm still out of breath.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's always room for improvement. There's always more things to learn. There's always like things that you can try out. I mean, when you're doing the same thing over and over again, obviously you'll see improvement, but then it's like eventually you're going to plateau, you're going to get somewhat stagnant.
Yeah, your body's going to adapt to certain patterns, your body's going to adapt to certain stimuli. And like we talked about, the carryover, crossover benefits of some of these exercises, gaining the ability to balance yourself and control yourself in literally a floating push-up is going to have tremendous carryover effects to grabbing things off of a shelf or pushing yourself up or working out of difficult situations. So while we do talk about training from a physical hypertrophy standpoint, we also must understand that like we're living in a real world. We have to live and operate in it. So we just don't want to be this jacked kind of fixed guy.
Exactly.
That's always kind of walking around.
I see this quote sometimes, and it's like, all that muscle ain't worth a damn if you can't move. Like, you got to be able to move, and even for me, like flexibility is like a big thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like a commonality between all of the exercises is it all involves like core engagement.
Yes.
Right? Where like everything is so core engaged.
Yeah.
Where like a lot of these newer exercises that we do, a lot of them are seated, or a lot of them in a bench, or a lot of them in a machine, things like that. And you don't have to activate your core.
Yeah, and that probably plays into why in the 70s, 60s, these classic physiques, these guys had smaller waist, right? That was how that stayed tight and developed, that vacuum pose. Yeah, that's sick. So this is going to keep you obviously active. I mean, just go look at Arnold's physique versus a pro bodybuilder today. Which one would you prefer to have? Well, Arnold trained like this, and these guys today, they train like not like this. So, leave that up to you guys. But there's a free report out there, guys. I mean, obviously, we've tried to do our best here today in breaking down some of these exercises, giving you our thoughts, opinions, and insight on how to make these exercises most effective for you. But the best thing you can do right now is click the link down there, grab the free report, and let us know, what was your favorite part of today? What was your favorite exercise inside the report? But Mitchell Spatafor, love you, bro.
Rich, love
Coach
you,
Frank, Compound guys. We'll see you next week.
See you next time.